Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. I'm joined by Robert Delins, and I'm going to learn all about his passive income journey. What really inspires me about Robert is that he's young. You said you're 23 and you're all about just making money online and sharing, the journey, sharing what it takes to get
Mhm.
to your end goal of currently, what was it, like $1 million? So, hey man.
Yep. Thank you for having me. It's quite an opportunity to be here. Thank you for having me on like a channel like yours as well. I didn't think somebody would come down and, and reach to my levels, but no, it's a grind. It's a journey for sure.
Yeah, we were talking before we hit record, and I mean, you have a great perspective, and I think it's great that you're relatable in where you currently are. Like now my channel's
Mhm.
grown to the point where no one can relate. They don't feel like I'm in the trenches grinding anymore. They think that,
Mhm.
oh, Ryan, he already made it. So, however people want to say that, how I look on camera, but I
Mhm.
still like to be transparent about my journey and always go back to the point where we all started in like Amazon merch tier 10 or Seller
Mhm.
Central on Amazon with 0 products listed. And your content I found because I think people really enjoyed that you were coming almost like from a fresh perspective on it
Mhm.
with print on demand, at least. And do you want to tell a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I had been following the e-commerce kind of journey from other YouTubers. At first, I was primarily watching dropshipping. I feel like that has a bigger following on YouTube, but I stumbled into print on demand and I kind of just started venturing through that, watching some more videos, trying to understand it. I had attempted to make YouTube videos a little while before I started my print on demand journey. I talked about some Fiverr stuff that I was doing, but I decided to kind of take the leap finally after watching enough videos. I thought I had enough knowledge. I think I can kind of figure out what to do. And so I took the leap, jumped into print on demand with that like little knowledge that I had. And I quickly realized that there's a lot more to be learned. Like the videos can tell you everything, but you won't learn it and you won't understand it until you really like start it. And so, yeah, no, when I made that video, it was all about just kind of forcing myself to actually have to do it. If I have this video idea, then I have to go through with it. If I make this like print on demand store and I show it to people, then I have to keep going with it. I have to keep trying it. I have to keep myself accountable so I can keep showing people the results. And that's kind of how it started, was that 1 week video. I saw that the like results videos were trending on YouTube. So I decided, why not? Let me try this. And I ended up getting a lot more traction than I thought I would compared to like my other 2 videos that I had posted. And since then it's gotten even more views, and I mean, I'm amazed by it, but it's definitely kept me accountable. And so I've been trying to keep recording my progress, keep showing people what I'm doing, what I'm learning, when I'm getting profit, when I'm not getting profit, and all of I'm trying to be as transparent as possible, because I don't want people to think that it's so easy that you can go in there with absolutely no knowledge and you'll immediately start making money. Like that's one thought that I had when I was watching all those big dropshipping YouTubers was, oh, I'll make a store, I'll put some product on there, and bam, I'm gonna get
You're
money like
rich.
immediately. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And yeah, and when you jump into it, you realize like, okay, these guys have been doing it for like years and years and years. Like they figured out how to do the advertising, they figured out how to create a store that converts, they figured out what products to put on there, and all of that's just a learning journey.
And
And
they
so
test. They
exactly,
test
yeah.
so much, and they're not afraid
Mhm.
to lose $1,000 to make 10,000 when they finally get a
Mhm.
product that sells, right?
Yeah, and that's still scary to me. It's like losing money isn't something that you want to ever hear. But if you can keep your eye on the prize and you know that you're learning all like along the way, it makes it so much easier. So like, yeah, in that first video, I ended up losing, I forget exactly how much it was, but I lost like 200 something dollars. And like that was freshly me like being unemployed, so I didn't have like an actual steady income. And I'm like, well, down $200 isn't great, but I'm learning, I'm trying, and we'll see where it goes. So yeah, that was kind of like the motivation there, was like actually trying to do something and like create my own store, create my own business for once, instead of just watching everybody do it. So
Yeah, man, and it's brilliant too. Like just from taking a step back from just being a print on demand seller and just talking about making money online, being an entrepreneur, which I think
mhm.
you are, and like telling your story on YouTube, right? Like,
Mhm.
who knew when you were recording that video that it was going to get to where it's at now, almost
Mhm.
200,000 views? And I like to just kind of let the print on demand sellers watching just a reminder that when you go and you see some best selling Amazon merch t-shirt, remember that one day that design was created, no sales.
Mhm.
It was uploaded the same way every other shirt was
Mhm.
uploaded. And they didn't know that it was going to become a bestseller, making tens of thousands of
Right.
dollars, right? They didn't know, but it starts the same way. And every time you iterate through this process of like posting a YouTube video, uploading a
Mhm.
shirt, you give yourself another chance of maybe getting one of those home run successes,
Right. Yeah, it really is just kind of putting out the biggest net you can. casting as wide as you can to see what really clicks and what doesn't. And once you get something that clicks, learning from it. So there will be some kind of trend. And once you realize what the trend is, jump back on it, keep going, keep going. And if that trend ever wears out, then start casting that net again, trying to figure out what's going on. And that's kind of what I learned with YouTube, especially, is like, I post a few videos that like I think will do well because I find them interesting, and then I realize that they won't because that's just not what people are either wanting to watch, or they're just not interested, or whatever it might be. But it's also interesting that like you said, that video that I posted, it didn't start getting views until maybe 3-4 months later. I had posted a few more videos and stuff, and then it started taking off. Then it started getting a lot more views. Then I started getting some following, and like it's inspiring. It's really motivational for me to see that people are coming in and watching. And I'm sure it's the same feeling when you do hit like a good product, when you hit like a good design and you start getting a lot of merch there. But
yeah, I was going to say, man, like, let me ask you, have you had any big successes? Because what really helped me know that I wanted to pursue print on demand, like, I'm human, right? Like I always talk about, I have the long-term perspective and all that, but you know, it really helped that early on I experienced some big successes. Like I think I posted my first shirt in maybe March of 2017. It might've been April. Or April's when I got my first sale, at least. In June, so only a couple months later, I had my first $1,000 month, you know, so I got lucky in the sense of it wasn't really luck though. I mean, you know what I mean? I spotted a trend, I executed, and I got paid. But have you had anything like that to really kind of make you excited yet?
I haven't had any like huge successes. My huge successes were getting sales. Like that was my first step, was like, oh wow, I got a sale. Like I actually made a sale. Like it's possible. It's not just some dream and some fantasy. And that I've been kind of riding off that fire for quite a long time. Like, okay, yes, I'm negative in advertising funds. So how do I cut that out? How do I get sales without spending so much? Or how do I get sales without spending any? And so recently I started doing like $0 advertising methods through TikTok and just trying to promote it naturally. I started getting my like sales through TikTok, and that's like my now it's my new fire. It's like I've been able to get like 15 sales, which isn't a crazy amount, but just by doing no advertising at all, or not no, but like no paid advertising. And that's been my like new motivation. Is like, okay, so now I've been able to turn a profit. Now I've been able to figure out how to actually sell it. Let's like start figuring out different strategies. Let's start trying different angles and see what works. And so I haven't had like a big success yet, but I think it's all about just staying motivated and not giving up, right? Because it's like there's the kind of like cliche meme of like, right when you stop digging, that's where the diamonds will be. And so why stop digging? You already know that there are diamonds. I've seen people do it like you've been able to do it. And when we're all human, so it doesn't mean that we can't do it. Just keep digging, just keep trying it, keep figuring it out, keep reworking your angle, keep reworking your strategies. And that's kind of where I am right now. Is like I might not be going at it the most strategic way. I might not be going at it the most like straightforward head-on way, but I'm working my way around it, and I'm finding my own little fires to keep me going. So, but
no, it sounds like you've got some complementary like passive income streams that you're kind of building at the same time too, which I'm all for. Like I stayed at my day job so much longer than I needed to, but you know, it was money coming in. I honestly, if I'm being honest, like, is that my parents would have killed me if I left it. They just, they're that type of, they subscribe to that mindset of like, oh, that's what you're supposed to do, you know? So, I mean, I didn't want to like have to face them. And even as an adult, you know, I still didn't want to have to like tell them, oh yeah, sorry, left the job. But you know, the decision was almost made for me when they tried to basically make me do 2 jobs and still pay me the same. I was like, nah, I'm good.
No, but, I had a similar thing at my old job. And yeah, I end up telling them that like, you guys are overworking me. Like, this is too much. Like I'm done. And that's where I started pursuing my own like self-employment opportunities and whatnot. I realized that I could take similar things I had been doing and just selling them on Fiverr. So that's like one of my biggest things right now is like, if anybody has a skill, you can probably be self-employed through Fiverr. Maybe not like fully self-employed, but you can get like a decent amount of like supplemental income from Fiverr or doing whatever. And
Craigslist too.
Yeah,
like anywhere, just help people find you and you do what you're good at.
Exactly. Right? Like if you have one skill that you're good at, market it. Like you find the niche where people need you, because people do need you. Because like if a company needs you, then that means another company will. So why don't you just work as your own entity for that company instead of working with that company, in that company, whatever. I found so much freedom, but at the same time, I can relate to exactly what you said. Is there's that overbearing weight of like, oh, like society wants me to work like that 9 to 5, that like career life. And it's stressful because like this self-employment isn't concrete like you would believe a 9 to 5 is, which in its own right is also not true, because companies can fire you, they can lay you off whenever they want.
Right. And you live in
So
fear,
exactly,
especially when
yeah.
you have dependents. Imagine having dependents and being solely dependent on one income stream where for any number of reasons, right, they can let you go, right? It could be literally like central bank monetary policy flipped. And now, you know, when they do that, literally, you know how they reduce, when they fight inflation, you know what they do? They actually reduce demand by wrecking the jobs market. That's what they do, you know?
Yeah, no, it's very scary. And when I was watching, when I was doing my research phase on YouTube, I ended up watching a lot of like print on demand or drop shipping people who had just started because they were laid off. That's how their start was. Is they depended on that one job for their entire income, and once they got fired, they didn't know what to do. And since that moment, they've had that fear of like, okay, well, I can't just put all my eggs in this one basket, because who knows if it's going to be there anymore? Who knows if somebody's just going to decide to lay me off? And so that was one of the like big things that I kept in my mind, was like, multiple streams of income will never do you wrong. Like, yeah, it might be a little bit harder to maintain. It might be a little bit of extra work, but for your own sanity, why not? Right? Because then you're not just stuck to anybody. And if one of your side hustles or whatever you're doing actually like strikes and does really well, you can just keep doing that. And if it's your passion, then perfect. Now you're not even working. You're just having a good time and you're getting paid for it. And that's kind of like my whole thing is like, figure out what you want to do. Figure out what you're good at, figure out where you can fit in, and then go for it. And that's what I'm trying to do on my YouTube channel, is trying to show people like all the different things you can try to do while I figure out what I want to do. And so
yeah, that's awesome, man. And like I said, you have a really fresh perspective. It's awesome that you're only 23 years old and you've got this passion inside of you. Like I always say, man, I didn't take life seriously until I was 27. So like I just kind of like had a good time. I mean, if you looked on paper, like, yeah, I made lots of money. Like I still was working 2 jobs. Like I guess it won't sound like that looking on the outside looking in, but I guess things came easy to me. Like I got a master's, I worked as a professor at age 25, whatever. But like, if you knew me, man, like I wasn't trying to do anything that I considered like a true challenge until I was 27. And that's when I was like, all right, I got to like get serious about this stuff. But you're 23, man, you're going to be killing it. Like you're going to be at like age 25, probably far surpassing like whatever income goals you had today. You know what I mean? And that's 2 years, so maybe even faster than that.
Hopefully, yeah, I sure hope so. But it's tricky because that long-term mindset is really difficult to get into. Once, because right now I'm living like month to month, trying to figure out exactly how this is going to work, what's going to work, what's not going to work, and even having that confidence of like, yeah, it'll all be fine in a couple of years is so tricky and so tough to get into. And that's been one of the biggest challenges for me recently, is like not doubting myself and not doubting like all these decisions that I have. And I think a lot of people go through that, is like that might be one of the reasons why people don't start. That's why I didn't start earlier, is because I doubted myself. I said, well, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can start this. I don't know if I can make a profit. I don't know if I can like do a store. And that's why I think is like, it's really crucial for people to see that transparency of like wins and losses. Is like, I'm not some guy who's just going to flex big numbers when he wins. I'm not going to be like some of those crypto investors where it's like, oh, look, I made millions of dollars, but the next day they lost it all.
The BS culture, man, is coming to, it already came to a head. So yeah, that's done. That's behind us, at least for a while. Trust me.
Yeah. And like, I want to show it as transparently as possible, because I know that kind of stuff helped me. That helped me realize like, okay, like not every day is a good day, but why not start? Why not put your best foot forward? Why not give it a best shot? And I've seen in the comments that a lot of people are already inspired from like what I've done, which is amazing to hear. And like, hopefully I can reach out to more people, obviously, but I mean, we're all on the same journey. We're all in the same boat. We're all trying. And I don't think it helps to just see the wins that people have. It's because that's just not true. That's just not how it works. So
yeah, that's a great point, man. And yeah, I'm like, I should do some more YouTube videos on failures. You know, I've definitely done them in the past, but it's like every now and then, like a year goes by, and I'm like, oh, new audience. Like, let me tell some failure stories. So
yeah, exactly. Either failures or stuff that you've learned, like why it didn't work out, and then you can talk about what those kind of videos like really helped me out. I watched a good handful of videos where it was like why my print-on-demand store failed, why my dropshipping store failed, and people just go through a list of like, when I first started, I didn't do this, and this right. Like I just messed up, and I'm like, okay, I'll keep that in mind. Like now I kind of know, now I can look out for that, and I'll try it myself. But
Yeah. And hey, with the smaller channel, I think people take you more seriously. If I go tell a failure story, they're like, oh, he's lying. You know, I
Yeah,
don't know.
right.
Sorry if anybody's watching, and I'm not trying to like, I don't know how people see me on this side of the camera, but hey, man, like
Yeah.
we're going to do a video for your channel too. So guys,
Mhm.
make sure you go check out Robert's channel. It's going to be the top link in the description. I'm going to give you some, whatever you want to know, but I mean, I can give you some pointers of how to, you know, make a little bit of, you know,
Mhm.
as you're getting started on the journey. I'm
Mhm.
5 years into it, how you can hopefully add some extra income streams and whatever you want to talk about there. So,
Mhm. Exactly. Awesome. Thank you.
all right. Anything you want to leave us with?
Um, nothing too crazy. If you guys want to watch me try to become a millionaire or try to find my way to success, feel free to check out my channel. And all I gotta say is thank you for having me. Thank you for having me on here. It's been a big pleasure.
Awesome. All right, guys, check out his channel. I'm going to go over there and record a video for his as well. So make sure you watch that one.